Hello, everyone, and welcome to Start to Finish for Citizen Sleeper. My name is Matt Bowyer. This is episode 11. We have a limited amount of time to do a whole lot of things. So we're going to go do them. We need to rest, get our strength back, end this cycle. Got a whole bunch of dice. It's all going to be good. It's all going to be good. I don't know if you can really trust me when I say that. Oh, what is this? Those are the worst dice I've ever seen. How's this going? This is happening. That's not amazing by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. What do we have going on up here? Ugh. None of those are very good. None of those are very good. Okay. We still have a 1. We're gonna have to risk that 1. We are just going to have to make these rolls. So let's eat, and then let's go do that. There's a problem I can't throw my blood money at. This vexes me. Okay. What do we have happening? We need... food, water, and components. So the components are up here. I don't have enough components right now. That's clear. I have 4. Which is... hey, it's more than I had. It's not bad. We're also about halfway done. Which isn't good. Let's take a shot with this. We might not need any more. Got it. You are leaning against the metal crates you just loaded up with algae, packed and dried into bright green pucks. Esh hops onto one beside you, flexing her aching back. Is this enough? Esh squints at you, as if you just interrupted her train of thought. It's a look you have become familiar with. Doesn't matter either way. This is what we've got. Sighs and rubs the back of her neck. In these past cycles, working the algae stack with Esh, you've had little insight into her mind. She rarely seems happy to start a conversation, but is always eager to end one. Despite this, you feel like something has grown between you, something like silent trust. The kind that tends to seed itself in the fertile soil of hard but necessary work. Let's just go ahead and throw ourselves into the abyss. Go on. Why escape XPR? You're gonna help the flotilla because you're a good person. Esh pauses, her protective instinct fighting with the trust you've built. You can see her begin to shrug the question off. Then she stops, rethinks, and sighs. What you need to understand, Sleeper, is that Erlen's Eye wasn't the only place where the Solheim collapse happened. Sure, Hawthorne, where we grew up, was an XPR installation, but that didn't screen it from Solheim going under. Solheim was the only reason XPR were ever here. She pauses, hesitant to get into the whole story, but wanting to offer something. They are a service corp, you understand? They set up outposts and surrogate systems like this to offer refueling, logistics, and maintenance services to bigger companies with extraction contracts. Like Solheim. When Solheim went bust, XPR lost their client. And Hawthorne, well, we lost everything. We became an outpost tasked with just holding on. Keep the refueling platforms running, they said. Keep the outpost stable. hold on to our claim. Do you know what it is like to spend your entire life in a place with no future? A place that exists only to hold a legal claim to a piece of territory, to shore up breach of contract negotiations between two corporations? It's like living in a grave. So if you were looking for the answer to why questions, that's your answer. We, Peak and I, know what it's like to be forgotten, to be locked out. She stares hard at the side of the stack, the algae whirling against the glass in beautiful patterns, and she doesn't look away. The silence extends, and you realize the conversation is over. Ash seems angry, not at you, but with herself, for even voicing such ideas. After a while, you stand and start to load the crates onto the powered cargo trolley that Ash will run back to the Briar. As you do, you try to catch her eye, but she avoids it, soothing herself instead with the comforting simplicity of physical work. Okay. That's pretty good, but we need to get out here and help Peak now. We've got less time to do that in. Both these are risky. I guess this one has worse paint. Woo-hoo-hoo. That was pretty good. Dang. I'll risk it. Dang. Okay. That's honestly... I don't think I could ask for more. I don't think I could justifiably, believably ask for more. We do need to get out here and get some components soon. But not yet. If I'm short on components, we'll just have to live with that. End the cycle. I have another stabilizer remaining if I need it before the end of this, but I think our time's going to run out before I would need to use it. The decision's going to get made for me. That's what I'm saying. Speaking of components, actually, no. No, let's see what's coming up first. Oh, eat first. Food, 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 food. Food, food. I go to my favorite place. In my real life, I eat the same thing all the time. I see no reason to stop now. Give me my fungus. Thank you for my fungus. Back over we go. I'm gonna risk it. Yeah, got it. Great. Oh god. More things have opened up. Alright, here are the 3 things that I need to do. Here's my sabotage. Oh no. Oh, those are consistent across the board. I'm gonna bet that accrues with everything. Oh, hey. And here's how I can tone that stuff down. Okay, so I am gonna have to be over here as well. Halfway there. I think we'll get it. It'll be close, but I think we'll get it. And so I get stuff from engineering actions, right? Do we have engineering actions in here? That's interfacing, which is money. That's engineering. Great. Fine. Not worried about it yet. Oh, that's just more engineering. This is interfacing. There's really no reason for me not to just stick with this all the way through. Do one. Reroll. Sure. And there we go. And I got 5. Good. Rest. Sleep. Again. Not a lot of lore coming out of this stuff, but that's fine. It's a late game challenge. Not every day can be Christmas. This is a great set of dice. Use my 4. Come on, give me one more. Dang. Still good. Peak grins as you pile the ion thruster sets onto the motorized trolley in a derelict loading bay. I borrowed this from Esh. I barely know how it works. They seem giddy at the idea of stealing the ship parts from Havanage. Isn't it just a trolley? I guess so. I just find physical technology a bit intimidating. My specialty was computer systems. I mostly worked on keeping the protocols that ran the refueling platforms from totally decaying due to lack of use. There's a load of platforms in orbit of the moon Hawthorne is on, and Cinder itself. Ash and I ended up having to head out to them regularly to work on them. That sounds technical. That's the best job at Hawthorne. You get assigned a ship, you get to leave the colony for a bit. So much better than outpost maintenance or canteen work. The only reason we got assigned it was that Esh's mother is the administrator of Hawthorne, and Esh managed to get my name on the list too. Esh is always saving me. Boy, that is something that did not come up in my previous conversations with her. They find the switch and hit it, and the trolley starts whining. Ash will install these. The Briar is her baby, really. Truth be told, I was surprised she could bring herself to take it from her mother. Losing a ship? That has to have hurt the colony. How many ships does Hawthorne have? 4, well, 3, now that the climbing Briar has gone. 1 barely runs, so I imagine they'll have to reduce the number of fuel platforms they can actively maintain. Peak frowns for a second, and then shakes their head. Anyway, screw 'em. They'll manage without the Briar. No choice. And I have to admit, I'd love to have seen her face when she saw we had gone. Don't tell Esh that. They walk on quietly, lost in their memories of Hawthorne. Okay. I think I can manage the rest. You've done more than enough this cycle. Once these are fitted, the Briar will handle better than... Once these are fitted, the Briar will handle better than ever. You might even get a thank you from Esh. They head off into the corridor, the trolley whining its high-pitched whine. See you soon. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Interesting, they stay open. But, you know, I can't do anything with it. It's probably just for the code to this part, because it's got to stay up. I don't have any other engineering actions. I've got really good dice. I'm going to bust these up in the waste. Give me my scrap. I'll just need 1 more scrap after this. And in case that takes time, I should see. Reroll it. That's not good. It's just not good. Into the canteen. This is scary. Ooh. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Oh, that is ticking down. Okay. 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 Oh, God. Okay. End the cycle. It's gonna be closer than I want it to be. Oh, those are so good. Look at those dice. Look at those dice. Look at me needing to go get some food. I can't take... If I lose energy at this point, I lose condition, and that could really, really screw me badly. And then all of those people as well. And we're trying to avoid that happening. Generally speaking, I would like to not be responsible for the deaths of thousands, millions, too many. Oh, that would actually lower my condition. All right, well, give me this. Give me the component. Great. Let's go turn these in. That didn't change. Maybe it's about to. You look over the pile of scrap components lying in the briar. You look around. The bay is empty. Etch and Peak either elsewhere on the station or on the bridge a couple of levels up. You begin sorting through the pile, separating out useful components and boxing them by use. You don't recognize everything you find, but before long you get into the rhythm of sorting. As you do, your mind starts to drift, your attention being drawn into the dark corners of the bay. The briar is in surprisingly good condition, considering that Hawthorne and XPR must have been operating it for decades by now. The marks of care are everywhere, from the delicate patch jobs, polished to meld into the original finish, or the carefully bound wiring running through custom trunking. Ash loves this ship, that much is clear. Something catches your eye in one of the dark corners, a matte black stack of crates you hadn't spotted before. They are sleek and compact, tucked away behind some of the bigger, more worn containers. Yeah, what's going on over here in this corner? Are they weapons? You put the components away and go over to the sleek crates. You run your hands across their textured surface, but there is little hint of what lies inside in the opaque metallic casing. Then you see it, a yellow symbol embossed onto the far side of the crate, a universal sigil used by spacers, corporations, and manufacturers alike. It's one you have seen throughout your time as a sleeper, its meaning all too familiar. Explosive contents. You hear a hiss and Esh comes up through the bay's lock. She barely registers your presence, nodding at you as she passes. Sleeper? She busies herself with some task at the back of the bay. Finishing the job. With Esh in the bay as well, the atmosphere shifts, and you suddenly feel watched. You quickly finish up the sorting and slip out, waving goodbye to her back as you do. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that, but what can I do about it? I don't know. I don't know. It's not good. I don't know what they did before this. I don't really have any reason to think that it's gonna go bad for everything right now. I'm just gonna work on the blind spots and not attempt to examine my own. It's fine. Reroll it. It was worth it. Same result though. Alright, next turn I need to do my first thing, taking one of those down. I need to eat tomorrow too. Always gotta be eaten. Although maybe I'll be able to skip that. Because I think that's an engage action, and engaging energizes me. I feel like I can take on the day. These are bad dice. A rapid burst of movement catches your attention. A drone, its fins adjusting as it hovers in place, floats in the corridor. Hello. The drone shifts a little, but does not respond. The drone buzzes closer, and a voice gurgles out of its speaker, distorted and strange. Sleeper, come to the cordon. We need to speak. That's what a distorted voice sounds like. Why? The drone clicks and whirs, and the recording starts playing again. Sleeper, come to the cordon. We need to speak. Inspect the drone. You move closer, and the drone bombs away to a safe distance, but as it does, you see the HA of Havanage emblazoned on its side. Could this be Fang's drone? Satisfied it has delivered its message, the drone rotates and accelerates away as rapidly as it arrived. You stare at it as it disappears from sight, hoping for some insight that escapes you. To the cordon, then. Oh, great. This is just what I'm looking for. Mystery. As you enter the passage that leads through the cordon, a flash of movement catches your eye. The drone. It stops to make sure you've seen it, and then flits into a side passage, leading to a set of narrow stairs. You climb up through a dark shaft, the drone stopping at each landing to check you are following. Despite its lack of expression, there is something overbearing about the way the drone waits, impatiently realigning its fins in sequence. After a long climb, you come out onto an observation platform. The cordon and the vast ramshackle refugee ships beyond fill your vision. The scale seems impossible, and immediately you feel small and naive for even thinking you could affect this situation. Something shifts nearby. The drone again? A woman is standing at the window at the edge of your vision. You aren't surprised you didn't notice her. She too seems impossibly small in the shadow of the flotilla. The drone buzzes by her shoulder and she turns. Sleeper, I'm sorry for all the cloak and dagger nonsense. She nods at the drone, but I have never regretted being cautious. I'm Helene. That might even be how you pronounce that. I have no idea. Okay, I'll shake your hand. What's going on? The tight smile holds, but the drone keeps its single eye fixed on you. The effect is a little unnerving. Look. She glances around the empty observation deck as if checking for potential eavesdroppers. Let's be straight with each other. I know about your plans, and I understand your motives. You look at her in her overalls, the yellow markers, the HA signal. You've been on the eye long enough to recognize a Havanage member when you see them. Stay silent. Glances around nervously again and moves a little closer. This entire situation, I am not here to defend it. No one is happy about this. Especially not the refugees. I'm not your enemy here, no matter what you think. Sleeper, tell me something. What does Havanage mean to you? Straight up, it means Hardenhurst. That was unfortunate, but you should know it was one of our own who exposed Harden, and that has been dealt with. Havanage is used to being criticized. In some ways, we invite it. Our members are free to bring up grievances at any meeting to propose new structures and approaches. As counselor, it is my duty to listen to them. That is why I was elected by the members. We are an imperfect system, yes, and each counselor, each member, each representative can be flawed and worse. But we keep this place running. That is what we do. And the flotilla? The flotilla is a problem. Can the Eye take in thousands of refugees safely? I don't know. This place is a ruin, Sleeper. What do you think the council discusses? The price of Gerol? We make plans to keep this place spinning, to keep life support working, to ensure... Helene's slate chirps and a grim look passes across her face as she sees the notification. She looks tired, the screen light casting her rigid expression in a pale glow. Sleeper, I didn't bring you here to explain how Havanage works. I came to talk about your plan to cross the cordon, breach the quarantine, and supply the flotilla. I will stare directly back into your eyes. I know you think you are helping the flotilla, but you cannot do this. Right now, halfway along the ring, one of a countless series of debates are being held. These debates are to evaluate the potential harm that could be caused if the refugees of the flotilla are left to enter the station. These debates are at a standstill. Too many in the Havanage Council think of the flotilla as a threat. After recent events, a hardline group has emerged, protective and selfish. They seek only to benefit the members. In their mind, the flotilla is a danger to life on the Eye. If you are caught crossing the cordon and breaching the quarantine, it will only strengthen the hardline counselor's case. Criminals who stole a ship from XPR undermining the security of the station? It's exactly what they want. Hey, the refugees need supplies, Helene. They do, and that's exactly what I want to give them. But unless the quarantine is lifted through a fair process, they will never get them. And those XPR spacers you are running with, Sleeper, do you know anything about them? Hey, it's more than I know about... That's catty. I'm gonna say no. Why do you think the refugee flotilla came here now? Something is happening in the system. Something is pushing people out of colonies and outposts that have survived since Solheim collapsed. We need to be ready for whatever is coming. Ready to protect the Eye. You have to start talking about your sovereign borders next. I know the Eye means something to you. I know there's a reason you are still here. Help me protect it. Persuade those spacers that this is the wrong move, that they will get caught and the flotilla will be locked down, that Havanage will be delivered into those with the worst instincts. Forget this suicidal supply run with people you barely know. Help me fight for the Eye. I won't betray them. You coming up here and talking to me about your political systems, that we need to maintain the system, that if we just engage them in the free marketplace of ideas, that just maybe we can convince people who have just leaned into their worst nationalistic tendencies that all of a sudden they're going to change their minds. You will betray your home. Don't offer up the excuse the hardliners need to lock the flotilla out altogether, to persuade the members they are the safest pair of hands. Please. You look back at her and the flotilla behind and sense a desperation in her plea. A notification breaks the silence. Yet, she rapidly scrolls through pages of data. Sleeper, I need to go. She looks torn. Think about this, please. Talk to the spacers. Help them see reason. She quickly leaves the observation deck before you have time to respond. You stay for a moment, watching the lights of the tugs and the flotilla, and wonder what it feels like to be on one of those ships, so close to your destination, and yet so far from it. And then you think of the Havanage Council Chamber, across the Eye, where the right of these people to find safety is being debated. You shiver, and then you too are gone, back into the stairwell and the cold dark below. Fuck 'em. That's what I think. We all feeling good tonight? Still got a 1. That's not ideal, but we got a +2 over there. So we'll take the +2 at that point. Keep this rolling, though. It's fine. There's 2 more and we got that. Woo! Yeah, baby. Oh, God. Oh, God, we're not gonna get it all. I'm almost out of time. We might. We might. We probably won't, but we might. We probably won't, but we might. But we're not going to. But I'm going down swinging. I feel like I need to get that bar at least 1 more filled. I need to complete 1 more. I just feel like there's some things you're not in the market to debate about. There's a good dice. Oh, God. Sleeper. Peak is waiting for you when you leave, but they look different. Pale. Drawn out. You need to come up to the Briar now. They don't meet your eye. What's happened? Here, come to the ship. We'll be waiting. Don't take long. And with that, they disappear around the corner, leaving you anxious and confused. Okay. What's going on at the ship? As you walk into the Climbing Briar's cavernous bay, now filled with crates and containers, Esh is waiting for you. In front of her, sliced open with its insides scattered across the top of a heavy-duty crate, is an object you recognize. Helene's drone. You freeze. Come in, quick. Peak nudges you into the bay, looking behind you before sealing the entryway. We have to start being careful. You move closer to the container, your eyes on the drone splayed out in pieces, some parts of it hooked up to a slate that Peak picks up and begins tapping away at. Ash looks up from the dissection. Got it buzzing around nearby, heading for the ship. Avanach spy. We think we got it before it sent data back, but we can't be sure. Have you noticed anyone watching you? Any drones like this? Anyone following you up to the Briar? I'm being honest. I've seen this drone. Following you? I bet its owner? Ash pauses for a while, Peak looking between the two of you. Explain, Sleeper. You explain that you met with Helene at the Cordon, and you tell Esh and Peak about what she told you. That the Havanage Council are debating lifting the quarantine, but they are blocked by the hardliners. You speak faster and faster, but before you can finish, Esh walks away in anger, then comes back again, her eyes burning. What is this, Sleeper? Have you understood nothing from what we've told you? Havanage are not your friends. They are administrators, which means they are interested only in their own power, their own survival, and their own causes. They divide people as easily as sorting livestock. The greater good of their work demands it. The wider project of the station, the colony, and the nation. Look, I didn't have a choice. I'm not saying this. She came up to me. Listen to them, please, Ash. They are with us. What was the Sleeper supposed to do? They were ambushed by this Helene. I'm not gonna tag team. Let me tell you something, Sleeper. When people become administrators, they give up something. Some part of being human, being an equal among others, goes away. They start talking about the greater good, the systems, the ways in which their hands are tied or their processes compromised. My mother was the administrator of Hawthorne, and I have seen what it did to her. That noble, higher calling, it is toxic. People should never have the chance to decide the fate of others, and those that do so at a cost to their humanity. Peak tries to cut in, but Esh holds up a hand. Don't start, Peak. Don't ask me to be reasonable or calm down. Thousands of people are desperate out there. Being reasonable will only prolong their suffering. You are right. I have taken a stand. Ash... Uh-oh. Okay. Ash doesn't move for a moment. Then she lifts a hand to rub her temples. She goes to say something, and then stops. She walks back into the bay and starts checking the straps on the crates. I will make the run. No more distractions. Sleeper, you have to understand, this is personal for Ash. I know. I don't know, Sleeper. I just don't know what to do. You glance around the Bay of Briar, the walls seeming closer every second. This whole thing is closing in on you, and the question is, where do you want to be when it all collapses? You look at Peak. What do you think, Sleeper? Should we do this thing or not? Yes. Okay then. Onward. They slip away to help Ash, leaving you alone to replay the conversation in your head. A certain kind of grim determination settling in the room. Last chance to prepare. I get where she's coming from. Helene. I get it. My mind's made up. I've stood by sidelines. I have accepted, worked within a system. I'm just not interested in that anymore. Peak is waiting for you when you slip out of the operations center, nervously poking at their small slate. Sleeper, I followed what you were doing on the network. Incredible work. How do you do that? I'm not really sure. Well, it seems pretty incredible to me. Almost worth being... Sorry, I didn't mean... It's fine. Sorry. You and Peak quietly slip into the main walkway and work your way back to the public areas of the cordon. Avanage has had to quickly respond to the flotilla's arrival, and that means a lot of contractors and spacers walking through these corridors. You blend in easily enough. I haven't really met a sleeper before, as you might have guessed. Hawthorne is an XPR service outpost, and since the collapse, no one came for refueling or repairs anymore. So my generation has never met anyone outside the company. We heard about sleepers from the data packets that come through from XPR every once in a while. They usually contain news along with the corporate propaganda, but the reports were light on the details. SNRP have kept the sleeper program pretty quiet anyway, and I think XPR are only interested in telling their employees about it because it made living in our company town look like a good life in comparison to being a piece of corporate property. Sorry. Again, I don't mean... I'm just not sure how to talk about this stuff. Hey, neither do I. Glad I'm not alone. I'll shut up about it now. You walk on a little further, the walkway becoming busier. You both relax a little more and go with the flow of people. I just want to say, I think I understand. I understand the need to escape, to get free of it all. The structures, the systems, the company horizons in a company town. The small places, small corridors, small people. The slow death it brings. That's it. I get why you signed up to be a sleeper, and why you escaped from that too. Peak looks away. There's altogether too much running through your head. Too much to say. You walk in silence again, each of you in their own thoughts, but moving together through space nonetheless. After a while, you come to the entrance to the cordon, where handfuls of workers and crews filter in and out through two huge loading bay doors. Okay, I'm heading back to the Briar. Once again, incredible work on the sensors. That blind spot you created, that should give us a real advantage. See you soon. They head off, disappearing into the crowd almost immediately, outrunning their own nervousness. Just gotta look at it. I gotta look at my progress. Oh God. We're so close. We're so close. Sleep. I think we're gonna get it. Unless I roll all ones twice. Which I could. That's possible. I have the power. We're good. We made it. We're done. We're gonna ace this thing. I'm gonna get shot. Convince a crew. Get them both. And keep that 6 for me, because this is another one. Oh. You meet Peak leaning in a corner of the canteen in their typically unassuming way. It occurs to you as you approach that Peak must have had some practice at staying invisible. All good? That crew you were talking to, will they join us? They'll do it. Nicely done. Peak beckons for you to follow as they peel off the wall and head out into the walkway overlooking the corridor. Glad you were here to talk them into it. I never had much of a way with people. Why's that? Well, maybe it'd be more accurate to say people never had much of a way with me. They squint, irritated by their own odd turn of phrase. What I mean is, people have caused me a lot of trouble. I've had people hate me without knowing anything about me. I'm sure you know the feeling. I do, I've experienced it just in this game. Sorry to hear that. It marks you, am I right? Yeah. Peak nods. You both walk in silence for a moment. Not an awkward silence, but one of solidarity. Peak leads you around a corner, heading back to the main cordon access way. I appreciate you coming in and helping us out on this, Sleeper. On talking to the crew and, well, you know. Maybe after this insane plan is done, we can talk properly. They keep looking ahead, and you realize they're nervous. Yeah. That's settled then. I better report the news to Esh. We have ourselves a tug escort. See you soon, Sleeper, and please take care. And with that, they drift away, their head down, their gait changing as they do, their practiced invisibility shrouding them like a cape. Folks, that's all of it. With no flippin' time to spare. Jeez. Put a little work in here. Work back on my place. It's just energy. I'll give it a shot. And I'll pay for it. Well, let's go cook something. I cook in here. There we go. That's a little more like it. Now we sleep. And then we go. We go see what happens. This might be it. I think this might be the day. We are fading. We're gonna be okay. She's gone, Sleeper. She started the run without us. She did say she was going to do that, but also, shit. Let's go. If we head to the cordon now. She has to make it, Sleeper. She has to. A shiver runs down your spine. Ash, I hope you know what you are doing. Yeah. This is super not surprising. We did get everything together, again, with no time to spare. You arrive, frantic and anxious, at the cordon. Peak is nowhere to be seen. Then you hear footsteps hammering on the metal stairway Helene's drone led you through before, the one that leads up to the observation deck. You leap up the stairs 2 at a time and make it to the top, momentarily blinded by the light pouring into the observation deck. Sleeper, I know she's trying to protect me, but it's okay. She chose. But what about my choice, Sleeper? I'm not a child anymore. I can fight for myself. There she is! Peak rushes to the wide window, leaning forward to catch a glimpse of the Climbing Briar's blue XPR livery against the black of the void. You spot the Climbing Briar, a glint of blue and white, and beside it the red glare of a tug's lights. The tug crew went with her and knew they'd keep their word. I'll help. Peak doesn't seem to hear you, but the idea of the crew backing Ash up makes you smile. Maybe this thing will work. You watch as the Briar and its tug escort arc down towards the edge of the cordon, demarcated by the red lights of the perimeter system. So far, so good. The Briar will just look like another refugee ship being escorted into the cordon, at least, at a glance. Peak grips the rail as Ash reaches the edge of the cordon, that invisible net of sensors splayed between ships and drones. Now let's hope the blind spot triggered. You think back to the mess of systems you had to wade through to set it up, the delicate contingencies you set up to trigger the sensor blackout at just the right moment. Without noise, without ceremony, the Briar slides through the cordon. You await the flickering of alarm lights, the swarming of drones, but nothing. Just another cycle, just another ship. Esh is in. Both you and Peak let out the breath you've been holding and laugh. How did she do it? We did it. Give me my propers. Yes, we did. You feel a little shaky from the tension, but Peak's ease helps you settle. You imagine Esh, steely-eyed in the pilot seat of the Briar, searching for a place to dock. Maybe being stubborn has its advantages. What now? Now she finds a place to dock and unload as quietly as possible. And then she gets the hell out of there. You and Peak turn back to the window, looking for the Briar again amongst all those holes. The calm fading as new worries settle in. You spot the Briar first this time, docking with the largest of the flotilla's ships, a vast converted tanker, half of its protective plates removed. You think about the effort it must have taken to get that thing all the way here from the inner system. You watch the Briar, unable to get any sense of progress from its placid exterior. They'll be offloading everything now, Peak says, both assuring you and themselves that everything is going according to plan. You think of all the supplies loaded into the Briar, and how long the process of unloading them might take. The bay was packed, rammed with everything you could offer, and the thought of bringing all that to the flotilla makes you smile. You think of the reaction of the refugees, of the welcome they'll give Esh as the bearer of such gifts. You even imagine a smile from Esh as she is showered with thanks. You focus on that happy fantasy as you watch the Briar and continue the nervous wait for it to finish unloading. It's breaking off! Peak points at the Briar, and you see the puff of air and dust that accompanies an emergency depressurization. Ash must have ended things early, but why? Then you see them, the tugs closing in on the Briar. Havanage must have spotted the ship. You and Peak are up against the window again, willing the Briar a safe path out of the flotilla. Suddenly, the Briar shifts in space, a blue blur between two holes. Look at that! Looks like those upgrades we put together work. You watch as Ash cuts through the crowded flotilla, the tugs not daring to follow her dangerous path and peeling away. It is hard to keep track of the Briar, and suddenly both you and Peak are searching the black for a sign. Where's she gone? Then all of a sudden she is out, blue against the black, pulling away from the cordon on a wide arc back towards the station. A clean run. We did it! She's out! They beam uncontrollably at you, the tension released. You find yourself smiling too, smiling at these two beautiful idiots and their beautiful ship. Then Peak is hugging you, squeezing you with all the nervous energy that had been building. Thank you, Sleeper. We did this together. We did something. Come on, let's meet her. You and Peak rush into the Briar, finding yourselves in the now empty bay. The change is a reminder of what you achieved, and looking around you, you feel all the more satisfied. A hiss sounds at the far end of the bay, and Esh enters, looking exhausted. Peak runs up to embrace her, but she sits down on the bay floor before they reach her. You did it! Ash, you were incredible! She smiles a small smile at this, laying her head on Peak's shoulder. You suddenly feel like you are intruding, seeing the two of them like this, quiet and content. Sleeper, come on over! You cross them at the bay and sit beside them on the hard metal floor. Esh, did you give the flotilla our chairs? They both burst out laughing at the ridiculousness of it all, at the exhaustion and the worry and everything else. You laugh too. It is impossible not to, and after a while you all come to a stop, Peak wiping their eyes and Esh shaking her head. You would have loved to see it, Sleeper. The welcome I got. They came to greet the ship once I docked to offload the supplies. I told them I was coming, of course, as soon as I got inside the cordon, but there were so many. Children, families, smiling at me, shaking my hand. Soul was there too, Peak, and he's just as gruff as he sounds over comms. They took it all, crate after crate, until the ship was emptied out. There were so many, and even with everything we managed to bring, they needed more. They made me promise I would try to come back. Ash, you know we can't do that twice. What are we supposed to do? Wait for them to lift the quarantine? She's angry again, that familiar tension rising in her voice. Peak tries to pull her back down. Sit, Ash, rest. You've done enough for today. Don't, Peak. I know my limits. Coughing in the background here. Probably picked up by the microphone. Hi, Megan. That's fair.
Do you?
Sure, if there's something there.
Okay.
All right. Bye, Megan.
Already up.
It's okay. Okay, well, seeing as they didn't catch you, perhaps they will lift it. They know the flotilla poses no danger now, and if they can account for the extra load on the life support... Ash walks away toward the ladder that leads up into the upper part of the ship. I need to rest, Peak. She holds up a hand. Sleeper. Then she limps up the ladder, step by painful step. I'm afraid if you were expecting a change in Esh's demeanor, It's fine. Let her rest. I think I need some rest too. They put a hand on your shoulder and get up from the floor. We couldn't have done this without you, Sleeper. And I know those in the flotilla would thank you too. Thank you. Peak limps up the ladder too, leaving you alone on the metal floor of the bay. Your thoughts drift to all those people on the flotilla, sleeping and sitting on metal floors like this. Children, families, playing in cargo bays and repurposed fuel tanks. You know their story isn't over yet, and you look forward to meeting them. The quarantine will lift. You feel more sure of this fact every moment, even though you aren't sure why. You lie back on the metal and stare at the ceiling. What was it Feng told you Erlen said? The eye opens for us all? Maybe the old guy was right. A home for the lost. You like the idea of that. Maybe in time, you can help make that a reality. But something is bothering you, a sliver of a thought like a splinter you can't extract. Why are thousands of refugees coming here now? People don't abandon their homes for nothing. What wave is rushing through the system, and when will it reach the eye? You shudder on the cold metal floor and get up. Something is coming. You can feel it. This isn't over. Oh boy. Yeah. Let's blast out the last of my dice. And harvest these mushrooms. Why are you like this? Give me the things I need. You're not doing it. Duh. We're never gonna figure those mushrooms out. That's telling me. Random chance on random chance. Well, give me some food. And then I could have just cooked these, but I didn't do that. I'm actually going to stop there. When we rest, who knows what's about to happen? And that's where we're going to call it for today. We still have a stabilizer. I'm not using it yet because I don't have any more. And that's going to be kind of a concern. But that's something for future me to figure out. Current me, feeling pretty jazzed about everything we did. We helped a lot of people today. In the video game, I have accomplished nothing in my everyday life. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. I will see you all next time. Bye!